Hi, Mark Anthony here with another episode of The Whole Message. And today, I've got something to share with you because right here, you never know what's going to happen on this show, do you? And I have a stack of jeans that have been in my closet for 30 years. These are size 36-inch waist. They're brand new. They're all brand new jeans. They've been sitting in there for about 30 years, and I have not been able to fit into them. I actually used to have a 48-inch waist, and I'm just finally squeezing into a size 38. And I want to get down to a 36, and so I can fit in these jeans. And these actually were $7 for a pair of Levi 501s. Kind of tells you how old I am. But that's our goal, is to fit into these jeans that I've had sitting around for 30 years. And the amazing part is next week we actually start this series. It's called the Baby Steps to an Amazingly Healthier You. And what we're doing is teaching people step by step. It's a 12-part series, baby steps, showing you every single little step you need to do. And so that's what we do. And I'm sure you're going to enjoy and love to see that. But for today, we're going to go to the kitchen because we've got a lot of fun segments to share with you. And then we'll see you later on, actually in the office set. We've got an office studio set where I do my audio, radio recordings and things like that. So enjoy these segments, and we'll see you later on in the program. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you one of the funnest, easiest recipes. I'm going to make a chicken skillet pie. Instead of chicken pot pie, we're going to do a chicken skillet pie. And it is so easy. I've got some ingredients here you are going to love. And it's just one skillet right here. I'm using the Salad Master. This is an 11-inch pan. And we're going to put some vegetables in here. Frozen, mixed vegetables. I did make some potatoes. I diced up some potatoes. You can use frozen too if you like. And right here I've got some frozen kale. And my last ingredient is going to be some of these Butler soy curls. And if you haven't used the Butler soy curls, they're really good. Less expensive than chicken pound for pound, and you'll get a lot of use out of that. And then I'm going to need, and that was 1 cup apiece. So we got 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup, 1 cup. So equal amounts. You can actually add some peppers and onions to it, things like that. But my wife, she just does not like the cooked peppers and onions, so I'm not putting it in there. But yeah, you can add a couple more ingredients there if you like. And this right here is just a chicken stock without the chicken. I'm actually using 4 cups of water, and then I mixed it with some of these Butler chicken style seasoning. So that's all you've got to do. We're going to kick this baby on high. As soon as it comes to a boil, then you're going to drop it right down to low, because these are those really good surgical steel pans. You don't have to cook it at a hot temperature. I just need to get it heated up and then just bring it on low for about 20 minutes. So that's what we're going to do right here. It's going to take about 20 minutes. And in the meantime, since I've got a little time to spare, I'm going to work on some of these puff pastry doughs. Now these puff pastry doughs, you can get them in the grocery store. They've got a little paper in between here. And I am going to have a little fun carving these babies up. And they're all vegan, by the way, too. So probably fast forward a little bit just because I don't want to wait 20 minutes for this to get done. But I'm going to play around with this while we're going. We'll just fast forward the video. Okay, everybody, Hi, how we doing? Hey, I'm just working on some little floury things here, and looks like our skillet is pretty much ready to go. I am going to make some cornstarch and water here, a little thickening agent called Slurry for the technical definition of it. And I'm just gonna make a bigger batch just so I'm not gonna run out. I probably won't even need close to this much. We're gonna give this a little bit of a spin here, get all that incorporated. And just like that, let that set for just a second here. Ooh, love that sound. That's the sound of Salad Master. Look at this, oh my. This is looking good. And of course, nothing's burnt on the bottom or anything. As long as you keep it on that low temperature, you're gonna be just fine. You can bring it to a boil, but then just bring it down to a simmer low because you're maintaining better nutrients that way. That's why you wanna cook at those lower temperatures. And and by the way, anytime you wanna know about Salad Master or pretty much anything that I carry, I don't even carry them, but you can call me and I will be glad to share that information with you. Email me. I mean, my information is out there. I answer my own phones and just the way I am. So, but I can always get you in contact with the people that do sell these items. So, and the thing I like about this, handle comes off, and that's what we're gonna do. We're actually gonna put this right in the oven when we're done. And in fact, let's just go ahead and knock this baby out, because I like to let this rest a little bit. When it comes to cornstarch and water, you're making your slurry, it's good to mix it, let it settle, and then mix it again, because that way you're not gonna have it taste starchy. You can also use flour and oil, make a roux, but I just don't like doing a lot of oil. So I'd rather go with the water base, and you can get the organic corn if you want, and here we go. So we're just gonna add some of the cornstarch and water right to the, basically you've got a chickenless stew right here. And you could actually serve this just like this. You'd have chickenless stew. And you can see how it's just thickening up, it's thickening up. And this is where you kind of decide how thick you want it. You can get thicker and thicker, and you can even crank this up a little bit. But I think that is looking really good right there. I'm gonna add just a little bit more. So I ended up using about half of what I thought I was gonna use, which is okay. You can make this even a little thicker if you want. It all depends how thick you want it. In fact, I'm going to, just to be bold. We're gonna be bold on this one. Thicker is gonna give it a little more body to it. Okay, and now that we've got it right there, we're gonna show you a couple of secrets here. I'm gonna take this other piece of puff pastry dough. And the puff pastry doughs are great. I use these for quite a few things. Let me just cut the corners off here just to balance it out a little bit. And you don't have to, you can always tuck them in, but I'm gonna cut those corners off. And oh yeah, look at it thickening up now. See how thick it is? And that's kind of what I'm looking for right there, because I want some body to it. I don't want it so thick you need a knife and a chainsaw to cut through it or anything like that, but you definitely want some thickness to it. Okay, woo, that looks good with the kale and everything. What a fabulous combination of items you've got here. And then we're gonna take this puff pastry dough and cover. I just wanna stretch it out just a little bit. Make sure it's gonna cover the entire top of this stew that I made. Oh, I could do it like pizza, huh? Woo! Hey, we will do a show on pizza very, very soon. Okay, so there we go. We're just gonna get this right in here. And that's all there is to it. And I'm gonna take my little knife here just because I want to get these edges down in there, because I want this baby to look good. There we go, look at that, going right along the side like that. We're just tucking it in. And don't worry if a little bit of juice comes out the side, that's just fine. That's going to give it some personality. And now that you got it like that, let me grab some water here. There's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to do some little flouring things. There's a lot of people that will actually do egg. Egg is a big thing when you're doing pastries and things like this. But I'm just showing you the basics here. I'm not even really getting real fancy or anything. I'm just going to show you the fundamentals. You can actually take and make so many different designs. And if I had time, I would, you can even break out your little cookie cutters and really get fancy with it. And but we're just going to do some leaves here. I cut up some leaves. And all you're doing is putting a little personality on it. That's all you got to do. Just get a little bit of a personality. It doesn't need to be fancy or anything like that. And I think I'll put that little leaf up there just because I don't have a lot of room down here. And ooh, we got one more of those. We can put that right there. And you can chop these up any way you want, really. And they're still going to turn out fine. And you'll see what I mean when they come out. And so what do you think? Just like that? Think that'll work for us? I think so. And then, now you can add some water to it if you want. What I like to do is just hit it with a little spray like that. Okay, this baby is going to go in the oven for about 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes at the most. And then we'll come back and show you the finished product. So I'll get this in the oven and we'll see you in about 20 minutes. We're back. It's been about 30 minutes. And let me tell you, I actually took the pieces that were here and just busted them up and put them in the oven for a little while, because you can always take your cups and go ahead and just add some to the bottom before you put your pot pie into it. So I don't like wasting food, so I always like to do that. Are you ready to be blown away? Now you got to remember, this was a one skillet meal. The chicken skillet pie. And oh my, look at that. And this baby is hot. That's why I love these Salad Master pans. You can just put the thing on anywhere you want. And look at that. Ooh, all ready to go. You've got a nice little presentation, and you can chop it up and be ready to eat. Now I do let this cool. I will let this cool for about 10-15 minutes, because what's going to happen is the chicken stew, basically part of it, is going to tighten up. And it's going to make it a little bit thicker so it doesn't just go like this and go running all over the plate. So, but it's that easy. Is that the most awesome thing that you've seen in a long time? One pan, you just put your ingredients in there with some chickenless stock. You thicken it up with some cornstarch. You put the puff pastry dough on it, and that fast, throw it in the oven, and you've got a chickenless pot pie that is absolutely delicious. So make sure that you definitely share this one with your friends. Try it out at home and keep watching those videos, because we got a whole bunch more coming to you that you are absolutely going to love. So this is Mark Anthony, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. All right. Now, wasn't that a fabulous recipe? And that's what I like to share with you, is those fast, easy recipes that are simple to do, and you can add your own ingredients to it, kind of customize it, and it still turns out perfect every time. So welcome to The Whole Message. This is my studio inside the radio, where I do my radio spots and things like that. It's my homework station is really what it is. I mean, I sit here and do hours and hours of homework to bring you that valuable information that you need to have in order to get yourself healthier. And so I do a lot of the homework. I go through the information, and a lot of the information on the internet is really not fact. I mean, there's more lies on the internet than there is truth nowadays. And it is really bombarded into a mecca of deception out there. And so I like to pick and choose and really go through the pertinent, valuable information that's out there. So we're going to go through a couple things here in just a little bit. But I wanted to share with you a little bit about my testimony, because a lot of people don't know that I used to have a casino in Las Vegas. And I used to actually, years ago, I worked for the hospitals in Las Vegas as an executive chef. And a lot of times I would go to different hospitals and train other people, open up new hospitals and that type of thing. And, I was actually 320 pounds, so I was almost 320. And so I was a big boy. My whole family's huge. My whole family is, I've got brothers and sisters that are well over 300 to 400, 425 pounds. And our family, we ate bacon and eggs, hamburgers, pork chops, hamburger helper, processed foods. That's all we ate. And so every one of my family is extremely unhealthy. In fact, my sister died a couple years ago at the age of 55. And I've got brothers with type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, and the list goes on and on. And here I was working in the hospitals, way overweight. And I'm talking to the doctors, and they're like, yeah, you got to get off that cholesterol. They said that's what's killing everybody. And over and over and over, I was hearing this from all the doctors. This was quite a few years ago. And so I told them, I said, how about if I just, get off all those meats? And they said, yeah, just start somewhere. And so that's what I did. I started, not eating any meats. And but then, after talking to the doctors more and more, I finally went all vegan with no animal products whatsoever. And it took a couple years to really see some serious results. But I wanted to share with you those results because I have them right here for you. And my cholesterol used to be at 263. And I've got a couple years difference in between these two tests. 60 pounds difference in between the two tests. And my cholesterol right now is at 118. And actually, it's kind of up and down from there. It kind of goes from 150 to 110, right in that range. But here on the results, I'm giving you the actual results here. Triglycerides were at 274. Now they're at 91. And I was actually getting healthy before I started this so it probably would have been a lot worse. But everything was actually perfect on here. My HDL went up the way it was supposed to. My LDL went down from 159 down to 59. Everything on here was absolutely fabulous. What else we got here? Calcium. Actually at 9.2, this is the end one. My calcium at 9.2, actually on the high side. Going all vegan, no animal products whatsoever, my calcium was perfect. A lot of people are like, well, where am I going to get my calcium? Where am I going to get my protein? Protein was at 7.0, exactly where it was supposed to be, going all vegan for years, and my protein was perfect. And the list goes on and on. Everything on here was just absolutely fabulous. Now, I was low on B12. I was in the right zone at 329, but my zone is actually from 250 to 1100. So I was in the right zone, but I was on the low side. So anybody that tells you that you cannot get B12 without eating animal products, obviously that's a lie, because I'm getting B12 without eating any animal products. Now, there's probably a few other items that I could be eating, but yeah, you do get B12 from animal products. And I tell people, I'm like, well, where do you think the cows get the B12 from? It's from the grass and the roots that they eat. And then the cows get that B12 from the grass and the roots, and then they pass it along to humans. That's where the cows get it from. And, we actually need to eat more rooted plants. B12 is actually a bacteria that grows on rooted plants. It's not something that is just born in the animals, okay? And that's something that people just don't understand. But anyway, so I do take a B12 supplement. I do that. And so that, and it's kind of nice to do that. But everything on here is perfect. Now, here, check this out. My glucose, I was actually at 106, which is in the high zone, basically right at that pre-diabetic stage. And I've got brothers that are diabetics, and I didn't want to be one. I didn't want to be shooting up those needles. And now my glucose is at 83, right where it's supposed to be. So, everything on here it's just day and night, just from switching my lifestyle, getting off those animal products, And my weight right now, I think I'm down about 70 pounds. I still got about 20 or 30 to go that I just have not been able to get off of there. But this next couple weeks, we are starting this 12-part series called Baby Steps to an Amazingly Healthier You. It comes along with a book that is 99% done. We're just waiting for the editing and that type of thing on it. Should be out pretty soon. And but we're going to baby step by step and show you how to get healthier one step at a time. And so it'll be a really fabulous tool to have. And since I started doing these baby steps, I'm actually lost about another 5 pounds. You see my stack of jeans that I've been looking forward to fitting into for the past, 30 years, but more particularly the last 30 days since I started doing this myself. And so we're going to be having a lot of fun with that. And so let's go to the next cooking clip. I'm going to show you how to make toom, which is a really awesome. I'm just giving you fun recipes today that you're just going to enjoy sharing. And then we'll come back and I'm going to go through some of this information about vegan, vegetarian lifestyles on a few different websites, and we'll go from there. So enjoy this video. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you how to make whipped garlic. And this is one of those fun recipes that you're not going to see everywhere. A lot of the Mediterranean restaurants will call it toom, T-O-U-M, which actually means garlic. A lot of Lebanese, Middle East restaurants will carry this. And it's such an easy recipe. It just takes a little bit of patience, and I thought I'd teach you how to do it. It's so simple. This is going to take a little bit of time. We've got some salt. I've just got a couple teaspoons of salt. And you can raise or lower that to whatever you want. And then I've got some fresh garlic. And just fresh peeled garlic. This is one of those recipes that I don't use the chopped garlic that I normally would because it has a little too much moisture content. And you want to make sure that you've got the least amount of moisture in here. And we're going to give this a quick whip, and we'll come back and forth, but we'll try to get this done without too much noise for you. And I'm just going to scrape the sides here a little bit just to make sure we don't have any really big pieces around the outside here. And all we're doing is chopping garlic. Okay, after it's all kind of stuck to the sides here, we know that it's going to be ready to start incorporating the oil. So all we've got so far is 1 cup of garlic. I've got 4 cups of oil here, which is just a vegetable oil. It's a little bit lighter than the olive oils, and it gives you a little more fluff. And then I've got a half a cup of lemon juice. Now these are going to be added just like thread. You'll see the line on it, but I'm going to keep this running the entire time until this is done. And I'm going to go with a cup of this, and then a couple tablespoons of lemon, and then a cup of this, and a couple tablespoons of lemon. So you'll see the process as it goes along. But I'm sure we'll fast forward it and silence up the editing part of it, because I don't want to waste your time and ears when it comes to this one. But we'll get this thing whipped up, and you'll see how easy it really is. Woo! Okay. Now I did have a little bit of oil. I might have had too much in there in the first place, but I can tell where it's at and where it's getting so fluffy and thick that I just wanted to get in here and take a look at it. And yes, it is definitely fluffy. So we're going to give this one last whip here, and ooh, man. And you can add more oil to it. Just want to get it off the sides here. So let's give it one last whip and it should be okay. Yep, it looks like that's done. That's done. It's not going to take any more oil. Woo! One more time here. Okay, just like that. Woo, let me tell you, this stuff looks fantastic. And it is just the fluffiest whipped garlic you could ever imagine. And you can serve this a lot of different ways. I mean, you can use it as a spread, you can use it as a dip. What I'm gonna do with this is I'm actually gonna put it in the fridge, but I'm gonna put a paper towel over it. I'll put it in a container, put a paper towel over it, let it cool, because this is actually warmed up from doing so much whipping. And I just want the moisture to be taken out of it, and then I can turn around and put a lid on it later. But you don't want to put a lid on it when it's like this, because the condensation would just create that moisture barrier that would just make it fall. So, but that easy. A lot of people will take some tandoori bread with it, or you can take any type of bread and slice a piece off. And I make my homemade breads, as you can tell. And you've got just a wonderful, wonderful lemon, salt, garlic, and oil. Not something you want to eat every day because it does have that higher. Wow, that is really good. I should have been a cook. Anyway, definitely one of my favorites, and you'll want to make this time and time again. This will last in the fridge for weeks. And after you've done it a couple times, you're going to see where you can get the fluff and where you're adding too much of one thing or another. Just keep going back and forth with the oil and the lemon juice, and boom, you've got your toom, or as I like to call it, my garlic fluff. And that's what it is. It is a garlic whip. And so thank you all for tuning in, and we will see you next time in the kitchen. All right, now that's how you make toom. And of course, I always like playing some fun videos. That's what you're getting today. This is just fun video day at the whole message, and where we love to teach you the whole message, not just give you bits and pieces of it. I like you to get the entire information. And I was just going over my blood tests with you and showing how in just a matter of a couple of years, they ended up being perfect. And you know, it's a stepping process, okay? You don't have to do everything all at once, but you want to keep taking steps, and eventually you'll get there. You know, do one thing, get off the milk and cheese. There's mountains and mountains and mountains of evidence that shows that, you know, how unhealthy that those milk and cheese products are for you. You know, and then take another step, get off the meats, you know, and reduce your meat consumption. You know, and that's one thing that we're doing with the baby steps, is showing you how to set up your kitchen, how to, you know, have an environment that is designed for success. That's one of the big things that people are missing. And you're not going to miss these animal products. You're really not. It takes a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, for your taste buds to change. Because what happens is, right now, when you're consuming animal products, that animal fat and cholesterol is surrounding all your taste buds. And when you eliminate the animal products, you get that animal fat and cholesterol off of all your taste buds. Then your taste buds start doing the job they're supposed to be doing, and they start tasting real food. And so you don't need all that salt and sugar and fat to flavor the food. You know, food just tastes fabulous. And when your taste buds change, let me tell you, I crave oatmeal. And I would have never ate oatmeal before. I crave salads. I have salads almost every day. And my wife and I, we even eat salads without any dressing on it whatsoever. And I would have never thought that before. But here's what happens when those taste buds start working the way they're supposed to. Everything tastes better. Those flavors from those salads are just bursting with flavor. It's amazing. So that's what you want to do. And we're going to go to these screenshots here. Another thing I got to share with you real quick while it's on my mind. Sometimes I just think of things and I gotta get them out to you. What are the 3 nutrients that they always tell you you're low on? Calcium, vitamin D, and protein. That's your 3 majors. Calcium, vitamin D, and protein. Well, what are the 3 basic only nutrients that you get out of animal products? Calcium, vitamin D, and protein. The exact same 3. And I'm thinking about this, and they always tell you you're low on calcium, protein, and vitamin D. We are having the highest consumption of animal products in the history of the planet. And if we have the highest consumption of animal products in the history of the planet, how can we be the lowest on those 3 items? It just doesn't make sense. It's not intelligent. There's no possible way that could be. The only possibilities is that you either don't need all the nutrients that they're telling you that you need, or you're not getting those nutrients out of those products. Or the other possibility, which I'm really tending to gravitate towards, is the fact that when you consume these animal products and you have that animal fat and cholesterol coating all your intestinal organs and your cells of your walls of your cells and everything, that you're not getting the nutrients that you need. Because you're not able to absorb the nutrients out of products. So, there's a couple things there, but bottom line is you can't have it both ways. You can't be saying, animal products is where you get these nutrients, and even though we eat the most of them, you have the least of them. But you got to think intelligently, and that's what I'm here for, is to show you these intelligent things that are going on in the world. All right, we're going to do a little shot here, and I want to show you what we've got going on here. And we're going to just expand this real quick here. This is, of course, I've got my website here. And I thought I'd share this one for you. Where's this from? HuffPost. And I do like to present whose websites things come from, so you can share them as well. This is The Rise of Veganism, a health revolution. And I just thought I'd share with you, because this just has some fun little interesting facts. They've done some studies. Veganism has grown to 2.5% of the U.S. population, up from 1% in 2009. So it's actually doubled this says 3 years, so it's doubled, probably tripled in 5 years. Americans still consume 1/6 of the total meat consumption worldwide. Woo! Americans consume 1/6 of the meat consumption worldwide. And then you wonder why we're the unhealthiest. And look at these animal products. The higher the animal consumption has went, our health and sickness and disease and heart disease and cancers have skyrocketed the exact same rate that all these animal products have increased in our society. So, there's mountains of evidence proving that too. Americans in 2013, vegan, 1 million. Vegetarian, 7.3 million. And I love this part. This is a fun part. And I don't think this has any sources, but I just like showing you fun stuff too. What does the vegan say? Here we go. 42% became vegan after seeing a film, educational video, or a movie. 45% transitioned to a vegan diet gradually. See, that's what you can take step by step. But take steps. You don't want to stop after one step. 52% had been vegan less than 10 years. So here we go. Most of the vegans out there are not lifelong vegans. In fact, only 2% of the vegans out there have been vegans over 30 years. Only 2%. That's amazing to me. 35% have a non-vegan spouse or domestic partner. That makes it very difficult. Thank God my wife's a vegan as well, because it's difficult to have one vegan and one non-vegan. And there's even date lines and things like that for all vegan people, so that they can match up with somebody that's, they're not unevenly yoked with. Of course, if you marry a vegan chef, then they'll do all the cooking and you won't have to worry about it. So that's right. 69% became vegan on behalf of animals, which I think that is crazy. I don't know, like I said, where they get these statistics from. 69% became vegan on behalf of animals. And who knows, in this world today, it could be. People thinking more about animals than they're thinking about themselves. Okay, now that doesn't really make sense, does it? I mean, I did it for my health, not to save some poor animals. Don't send me a thing from PETA or nothing like that. I'm just saying, what's your priority? To take care of yourself or worry about some little animal. 45% describe themselves as spiritual but not religious. 43% describe themselves as atheist or agnostic. 11% follow a major religion. So not exactly, but I guarantee you, when you start getting yourself healthy physically, you're going to start getting yourself healthy mentally, and then you're going to have a better connection with God. It just works that way. And let me tell you, you start getting a clearer mind. And I'll show you biblical stuff too, all about this, but you do. It's a domino effect. You want to get closer to God, start getting healthy. God, the Bible says that our body is a temple, and the better we take care of that temple, the better connection we're going to have with God. So 61% or 67, I can't tell the number on this one. I think it might be 61%. Yeah, it's a 1. Are politically liberal. 33% are not political at all. 11% are politically conservative. So that's kind of interesting. You would think that it'd be a little more balanced out there, but you never know. A lot of the liberal mentality is different than the conservative mentality. So that's an interesting thought, though. 38% do not have and do not want children. 38%. I don't know what the point of this is, but 33 may have children at some point, 9% raising young children vegan. So interesting enough. Celebrities, Al Gore, Rosie O'Donnell, Ellen DeGeneres, Usher, Alec Baldwin, and Bill Clinton. I've actually heard those names. So sometimes I look at these things and I've never even heard the names. I'm like, who are these people? Because I really don't pay attention to the world social situations. And here's some influential films for you. Food Inc., good one. I've watched that. Forks Over Knives, I've watched that. Super Size Me, I have not seen that one. Vegucated, no, that's a new one for me. Earthlings with, is it Joaquin Phoenix? That sounds familiar. And then Food Matters, which I've seen that. So just some interesting things I wanted to share with you from this website, and had some fun stuff on it for you. But let's get into a little more intelligent stuff rather than just the social numbers, because, when you look at these social numbers, to me, it's really irrelevant as to why, who, what, when, where. I like to get into the real statistical facts, get down to the real science of it, the real studies of it, the real benefits and things like that. But I do like to show you some of the fun stuff from time to time. This is the blue zone right here. And we're actually, we're going to go to another cooking clip, and then we're going to come back and talk about the Blue Zone project, because this is a really, really interesting thing that you're going to love. So let's go to some cooking segments, and then we'll be right back to look at the Blue Zones. Hi, Mark Anthony here. Not to show you how to juggle mangoes, but I'm here to show you how to cut mangoes. And it's really easy to do. I've seen a lot of people try to cut mangoes and they either end up without their fingers or they end up without having any mango left. So, of course, I do wear gloves quite a bit. If you've seen me doing cooking shows, I just don't like getting my hands dirty. So I want to show you the easy way, and I want to show you the smart way to cut a mango. And a lot of people, what they're going to do is they're going to cut it on both sides of that pit seed that's in the middle. And you're just going to take both sides right like this, because this is actually a long, narrow, you can see right where it is. I'm going to put both these up here like this. So you just got to look at the actual mango and you can say, okay, that pit is going in that direction. And so once you get that down, that's a good way to do it. And of course, I even cut off some of these sides like this too. And you can always give the pit to your kids, give them a challenge. And here's what people do. They're going to cut just like this. You've probably seen this before. Now I have a real fear of telling people to cut these babies like this, because as you can tell, you might end up without your fingers, and it's very dangerous that way. And of course, you've probably seen the beautiful look like this that it's presented, and which is okay. And then you can just take the insides and cut the pieces off. But once again, you're looking at another danger of cutting your fingers off. And right here, you're going to cut your fingers off. And right here, you're going to cut your fingers off. So it's very dangerous to be doing these this way. You know, it looks good on paper, and there's still a lot left over there. So anyway, there's one possibility to be cutting your mangoes. But I want to show you another one here real quick. And that would be to take your mango. I always take that little stem out of there, and we're going to peel it first. And depending how solid your mango is, and we're going to peel all the way around the outside, basically where the seed is. See, because the seed would be right in that center. And then you just want to peel a little bit more and a little bit more, and you're just going around in a circle. And you want to get about a little bit left here. And I'm going to leave this little area here because that's a gripper. I can grip onto that. And if we go on the other side here, we're going to peel this one. And it is slick. One of the reasons why I like to wear gloves. And so we're going to take this side off of here. Okay, just like that. And you can see I still got some there. And you want to just leave a spot. Just leave a spot on each side for a gripper. You can grip it and it's not going to fall out of your hand. Where if you had this other one right here, woo, boy, I'm telling you, you cannot hold on to that. And as long as you've got a little bit of skin on both sides, you can grip that baby and it won't fall out of your hands. So, we'll get that out of the way here. Then we're still going to cut it in that same area. You can see I'm using my grippers right where, and I get it started, and then I grab my gripper. So God gave you a built-in gripper there. Then, when you get it right here, you can actually just give it a little trim like this. I use it with the knife. Some people actually just take their peeler and then take off your grippers. Now, when you look at it this way, and I'll share this with you real quick here, then we can cut it in a little checkerboard like that. And just like that, you're going to get a lot more volume out of it this way. And, you know, and you're saving, I mean, these things can be expensive sometimes. So, you know, if you can save some money, you can also do wedges like this if you want. So there's so many different things you can do with it. And then I still take this end piece and just like to go around the outside because I can chop those up. And look how much faster this is because it's peeled. And so just like that, let's get that piece out of there. And look how fast you got those mangoes cut up. So anyway, that's the easy way to chop up mangoes. And let me tell you, we're going to do some mango this and mango that. It's the mango season. and they're going to be really good the next couple months. So we'll do some salsas and a whole bunch of different things for you. So keep tuning in and watching those videos, and we'll see you next time. Hi, Mark Anthony here to show you the easy, simple way to make some mango salsa. And this is one of those things that it's just a couple of ingredients. And by the way, look at how much mango I got out of one mango. And you can go to my other videos and I'll teach you how to do it an intelligent way without hurting yourself and getting the maximum out of your mangoes. But this is all it takes to make a mango salsa. You've got your mangoes. I diced them up pretty fine. I've got some red bell pepper and some red onion. So those are my two favorite ingredients right there. And of course we've got our cilantro, and I go overboard. If you remember, I do go overboard when it comes to cilantro. Right here, I've got some diced up jalapeno pepper. It's only half of a jalapeno pepper, and you probably don't even need all that, but in my case, I'll go ahead and kick it up a notch. And a little bit of lime, and I'll just do the whole half a lime right in there, because you want some liquid to get things stirring up a little bit. My secret ingredient, just a little sprinkle of cumin in there, and just like that. And we're missing one ingredient though. Let me grab some salt. I gotta grab some salt here. And by the way, this is my spice rack, just in case you're wondering what all that stuff is on the back there. That is actually my spice rack, and I've got salt in there and 25 other ingredients. So a little bit of salt right there, and that's it. There is your mango salsa in just a couple minutes. To dice everything up, it only took me about not even 5 minutes. And so you've got your mango salsa. Now one thing, if you remember, you've got the sweetener from the mango with the salt. If you drizzle a little bit of olive oil in there, now you've got a real addictive substance with the sugar, oil, and salt. So you can always do a little drizzle. You don't need the olive oil if you're going low fat, low oil, but it does really kind of bring the whole thing together like this. So that easy. You've got your mangoes and a mango salsa, and this is fun for salads and just even with a thing of chips, and you could really have fun with this. People are just going to be surprised. They're going to be like, wow, that is something new and delicious. And right now is the mango season for the next couple months. There's actually 2 seasons for mangoes. One of them is going to be going into winter, right into the early winter season, and then one again in the summer. So for the good ones. And so just like that, you've got a beautiful mango salsa, and it's fast, easy, healthy. And that's what we're doing, is trying to teach you intelligent ways to eat a healthier lifestyle and make it easy for you. So Mark Anthony here, and go to the website, check out other videos that we have all over, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Have a great day. We're talking about the blue zones right here, and if you don't, this is Wikipedia. I do go to Wikipedia quite a bit. Blue zones, these are the blue zones right here. We've got Italy, right here. We've got Italy, Okinawa, Japan, Loma Linda, California with the Seventh-day Adventists, amen, Costa Rica, and then Greece. So that's your blue zones right there. And the characteristics of them, more family, less smoking, semi-vegetarian or vegan, social engaging people, legumes. One of the interesting things about the blue zone is that they've actually realized that out of these 5 groups right here, out of these 5 groups, only one actually consciously made it a decision to go vegan. All these other groups look at it as environment, okay? They were in an environment, and the blue zones, if you don't know the blue zones now, these people live 5 to 15 years longer than anybody else around them. And so these blue zones, here's a group of people that are living 10 years longer than anybody else around them. And it's like, why is this? And that's why there's 5 blue zones. Now every one of these blue zones, except for the Loma Linda, California, is because of environment, because they just lived in this environment where it's mostly fruits and vegetables that they eat. Now with Loma Linda, California, and the Seventh-day Adventists, that was a decision. People consciously make a decision to live a healthier life to be closer to God. So that is an entirely different thing than the other 4. But they all have the same attributes, that they all eat a plant-strong lifestyle. And one of the real interesting things about it, I went to the Blue Zone page there, is that they all eat a high-carb lifestyle. High carbs, high carbs, high carbs. And of course in society, they're always saying low carb, low carb, low carb. And the more we study this out, the more you're going to see that you need to eat more carbs, and especially do the carbs in the morning. High carbs is where it's at. And if you can't eat wheat, and that's fine. If you don't want to eat this processed wheat with all the chemicals and the GMOs, I agree with that, okay? But you still got to get those high carbs, and you're going to have to do the rice and the beans and the things like this, that quinoa, that doesn't have, especially if you're a celiac, that type of thing. So anyway, that's the blue zones. And when we come back, we're going to talk about the Adventist Health Studies here. And I've got their website right here. So we're going to go to that next as soon as we come back from this break. Hey, just wanted to share with you my newest cookbook. This is the kind of book that will really be a blessing to your library at home. And I took a lot of care making this cookbook. In fact, I do autograph them. I always try to do that. One thing I did with the quality of this book was make it a hardcover. It's over 400 pages, over 250 recipes, plus I put a stitched binding on it so it will stay open on the kitchen table. This is one thing you want to look for, is those good stitched bindings that will stay open and they're not going to mess up over time. And this book is filled with so many great recipes and concepts, because it'll actually give you the concept how to make hummus. And then here's recipe, 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 recipe. The concept, how to make bruschetta. And then recipe, 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 recipe. So it's one of those things that just makes it so much easier to learn how to function in the kitchen. And that's really what I want to do, is I want to teach people the basics. I want to teach people how to do things easier in the kitchen, to make your life easier. And more importantly than that, I want to get you healthy. And in this book, there's actually some areas in the front here, let me share this with you, that have 12 different concepts on things that you need to do to get healthy. And one of them is go vegan, of course. Here's one about reducing oil and a whole bunch of information about that. And biggest meal for breakfast, I talk about that. Plenty of water, which is what I'm doing right now, trying to get plenty of water. Rest, so there's some really good concepts in the front. Plus I also share some of my station simplicity, how to design your oatmeal station, how to design your refrigerator into a salad bar. So this is a real powerful education tool to teach you how to function in the kitchen so much better. And these run $50 and shipping's included. We're not even charging for shipping or anything. And it is such a fantastic book. It's available on my website, or you can just call the number on the screen. And we should usually ship out within a day or two. So it's just one of those books that helps support our ministry. And of course, you can always call the number on the screen, even if you just want to contribute to our ministry. Because let me tell you, this is one of those ministries, we don't have a bunch of sponsors. You're not watching 35 commercials in order to get one recipe. And we sustain ourselves basically on your contributions and a couple of the books that I have available. I have another one too here, Vegan Simplicity. We've got a part 2 to this one coming out real soon. And this one too has not as many pictures, but it's packed with recipes. This one's just packed with recipes, and that one's half the price. So just wanted to share those with you. Both fantastic books. my website, chefmarkanthony.com, or call the number on the screen, and we will get those right out to you. So enjoy the rest of the program, and we'll see you later on. All right, what a great episodes. I'm telling you, take these segments. The reason we do segments is because we want you to bust up these programs and be able to send out segments. You know, we're in a society right now where people would rather watch a 5-minute segment or a 10-minute segment rather than a whole hour program. So I like to have segments because, you know, why am I going to waste an hour of your time to show you how to make something in 5 minutes? And a lot of these cooking programs, they will stretch this out. You got to watch the beginning of the program all the way to the end to find out how to make mashed potatoes. And I would much rather just show it in 5 minutes. And so that's kind of why we do these segments, and it makes it more fun, makes it a real crazy program. So anyway, check out the website, chefmarkanthony.com, the YouTube channel. I get a lot of response off that YouTube channel, and which is on my website as well. And of course, we got books available and things like that. And share these with your friends. That's what it's all about. And we will see you next time in the kitchen for the whole message. All right, well, that wraps it up for part 1 of this 2-part series. So if you're watching 1-hour programs, you'll have to wait till the next episode. And if you're blessed to have a 2-hour program like we do in some networks, stay tuned right after the break, and you will see the second half of this program about getting healthy and living a vegan lifestyle.